What up? It's Dramos, and this is a story of how the Breakfast Club bought me a house. No, not this house behind me. I actually don't know whose house this is. I was just driving and thought it might look good for the thumbnail. All right, some of these dogs going crazy. I should probably get it before they call the cops. Cue the vlog.
Pero like, Dramos made it.
My name is Dramos, and I'm probably best known as the dude that sits next to DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club. And while that's been a dream come true, if we're being real, I'm also so much more than just that. I'm a DJ, a music producer, a TV personality, a radio and podcast host, but more importantly, I'm just a man taking life day by day, trying to make the best of it, while hopefully making this world a better place. And who knows, maybe my story will inspire some of y'all to do the same.
Trying to hit it like a free throw, got him saying, oh no. Bobby just can't do it, that perico. I'm about to hit him off with them Cinos, got him saying, oh no. Hey yo, Dramos, this shit finna blow up right here. Yo, yeah, boy, dime grande.
Alright, so don't judge me. My place is, that's my alarm system. My place is an absolute disaster right now. Let's see. We got my plant, which is holding on for dear life right now. I love you. I literally just had to move all my stuff from my storage space out of there. Let's do this in the studio. Also, this is gonna be like a two-part video because I didn't buy a traditional house, and I'll get into that in a minute. I ended up buying an investment property, so it was a little bit weird. It's not an actual house, but we'll talk about that maybe part 2 of this video, next video. We'll eventually get into that, why I chose that and the whole process behind it. Don't mind my studio, still a disaster as well. I'll do a proper studio tour once all this shit is done. Let's see, let's get here. Is that good? Let's see. Okay, you know what, let's close this window. How are we looking? Much better. And we'll pull this a little closer. All right, so we're here in my house. This is my home studio right now. I wanted to make a video. I was only appropriate my first vlog. I felt like to talk about one of the most life-changing experiences of my life, buying my first home, and how the Breakfast Club was such a big part of that. I also hope that in hearing my story, it maybe shifts some of the mindset that we have. You know, many times in our communities, people of color, we tend to try and take the shortcuts, right? We try and give off the perception that we are more successful than we actually are. And we do that in the form of like dumb materialistic things, right? And what happens with that is we end up getting ourselves, you know, either in debt or just wasting money, living paycheck to paycheck, because we're trying to put on this front of this lifestyle rather than actually taking the time to truly live that lifestyle in a way that doesn't hinder our future selves. And I'll explain that and how I kind of went through that process and grew out of that process into where I'm at right now. So just to paint the picture for you, at the end of this year, it will be 4 years that I've been with the Breakfast Club. But when I got the job at the Breakfast Club, I had just been laid off from another radio job, my first full-time job in radio, that paid me $15 an hour. Breakfast Club opportunity comes along, and I take it. And at that point, like I said, still living paycheck to paycheck, living in my parents' basement. And by the way, not by choice, because I couldn't A, afford an apartment, but B, my credit was absolutely terrible. And I also had failed. I'd moved out of my parents' house one time before that, moved to Brooklyn, ended up coming back home real quickly, ran out of money. Another story for another day. But living with my parents this time, not by choice. So I would go maybe check out an apartment, and they would give you that application, like, oh, we're gonna do our credit check or whatever. And I would never talk to that realtor again because there was no way in hell I was gonna actually pass that credit check. My credit score at that time was somewhere in the 500s. And I'm trying to paint the picture of like where I was at just 4 years ago, man. Less than 4 years ago. We're talking probably 3.5 years ago at this point, which is wild to even think about. So eventually I get the job at the Breakfast Club, and I decided to start being smart about my money. I save up a few $1,000s eventually over the next few months, and I find an apartment kind kind of in the hood in Jersey City where the dude doesn't do background checks. Now this apartment, I moved in with 2 strangers, and the way the dude separated this apartment was he basically would rent each room to random people. And I can go on rambling about different stories and things that happened during that time, but I'm painting this picture because I want to describe to you where I was at just 3.5 years ago. Like nowhere near a place where I might actually be able to even consider buying my own house. Like that wasn't even on my mind at that time. All right, so you're probably asking yourself, what were the actions that I took, the steps that I took, exactly how did I turn my life around in such a drastic way in such a short period of time? And I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. First things first, I got really clear on what were the goals that I had for myself. I began being very conscious of the people that I was around, right? And I can go into this whole thing about how I manifested this job at the Breakfast Club, but I would say to you, you know, be conscious of the people you keep around you. It has more of an effect on your mental, your psyche, and the way that you look at the world than you actually realize. That's why the internet is also a beautiful place. For so long, man, I would watch every interview from people that inspired me. Now you have podcasts, and people give so much game on podcasts, and you can almost feel like you have a relationship with those people. And I'm constantly, even to this day, just soaking up game from people, listening to interviews, listening to podcasts from people that inspire me, and it begins to give me ideas on what I want to do and how I can achieve my goals. Now, part 2 of this comes with the money aspect of things. Like I said, I wasn't making a lot of money. I was living paycheck to paycheck. But at the same time, I was also spending money on dumb shit. I was buying more clothes than I needed. I was going out, you know, more often than I should have. And I was wasting money on dumb things like getting food delivered when I was at work. I was wasting just so much money on dumb shit that I could have been putting away. So I got clear on my relationship with money. You know, I set a budget for myself. I didn't allow myself to spend on dumb things. I told myself how much each week I was gonna be putting away into my savings account, and I did not allow myself to get away from that. It was non-negotiable. Every single week, that number went into my savings account. And little by little, I began to stack more and more money that eventually put me in a position that I can get into an apartment and then eventually get into a better apartment. Now, the other part of this is a little bit more difficult, but that was my credit score, right? So here I was saving this money, being smart, and I'm still in this crappy apartment in the middle of the hood, and it's because of my credit. So I had to fix my credit, and life just kind of throws things at you, and you gotta be aware of when they're happening. I got very lucky in this situation, but it's something you also can do. On the Breakfast Club, Envy had somebody on there who did credit repair. And at the end of the interview, he mentions that they're gonna give away like 5 people to get free credit repair. And they talk about how terrible my credit was. Then that person helped me with my credit. I got linked up with that person. And by the way, I know I got very fortunate in that situation, but credit repair people are out there. You can hire them, you can pay them, and what they did was went into all the stuff that was holding down my credit score, past medical bills, credit cards that were late, all this different stuff, and helped me clear all that up. And what I did was, since I wasn't spending money on dumb things anymore, I paid off any of those dumb bills, any of those medical bills. It sucks, but whatever. Okay, let me pay it off. Let me get rid of it. And all of a sudden, in a few weeks, maybe it might have been a month or so, my credit score went from 5-something to 7-something. Now, I'm in a position where I can upgrade my life a little bit, right? And what I would say to you is be careful, because this is the moment where people get really tripped up a lot of times. You're making maybe more money than you're used to. Your credit is good, right? You're feeling yourself a little bit more. You feel like you can take a few more risks when it comes to spending your money, and you start getting sloppy. And I'm not going to say that I did not do that, because I definitely fell off the wagon a little bit. Started buying some sneakers that I shouldn't have been buying, all that different kind of stuff. But what I am proud of was that when it was time to look for a new apartment, I said, okay, I'm going to move into a better area, but I'm not going to get a crazy expensive apartment. I ended up getting a roommate, and hey, 2 grown-ass men living in an apartment, but we were saving our money. We weren't living beyond our means. You know, saving money, spending it wisely became a job to me. It became exciting to me. I changed that in my mind. I didn't think about all the dumb things I wasn't able to buy. I just kept pulling up my Wells Fargo on my app and seeing the money as it was growing in my account essentially each week, and I was getting excited by that. That became the new goal. How can I reach this? How can I reach that? That's exactly what helped get me to this place that I'm at right now, because as I was living in that apartment, which was an upgrade for me, hey, I still had a roommate, and because of all that, I was living far below my means. I was able to save a lot of money, and when COVID happened, man, and everybody was going crazy and the interest rates were dropping on mortgages, this felt like my moment, right? But the point being that because I wasn't trying to jump too far ahead, or I wasn't trying to do things to impress people and pretend like I was, you know, better off financially than I actually was, I've now put myself in a situation to really start getting all the things that I've wanted, and also put my future self in this incredible position to be winning at life, you know, for as long as I'm alive, hopefully. That's the beauty of it, the beauty of this idea that, you know, I sat there 3.5 years, man, you know, mind focused on this one particular goal of trying to put myself in this great position financially of buying a home and having money put away, so that when I did start to enjoy life a little bit more and give myself a little bit of grace when it came to that stuff, that I wasn't doing it, you know, at the expense of my future and my livelihood. And that's why I get to live this life that I'm enjoying, this blessed life right now.
Zaira.
So on the topic of enjoying the fruits of your labor, and just, I mean, being able to enjoy the benefits of having been patient and done things the right way. I now get to do things that I've always wanted to do and get little things that bring me joy and happiness and help me just live a mentally healthier life, man. So right now we're going to pick up one of those things. Hopefully it's as good as it looks on Facebook Marketplace, so we'll see. Bike has been acquired, looking fresh. Alright, so I didn't film the interaction because I'm in Staten Island, and as much love as people from Staten Island have showed me, I've also had some really weird interactions out here. I'll leave it at that. But bike is in the car, it's purchased. Now little things like this, man, it might feel dumb or like a waste of money to certain people, but I've worked really, really hard over these last few years, and my work-life balance is completely shot. So now that I've achieved one of my biggest goals of owning a home and being somewhere with space that I can get out and enjoy things and take some breaks, and my work schedule isn't as demanding as it had been in the past, where I was just trying to get whatever check I can get. I want to take the time to truly enjoy it, and that's a part of buying a home, a part of moving out to an area that actually has space and not living in the city anymore. So man, this is a part of that. This is going to be my mental health escape. This is me diving into trying to find that work-life balance where I'm really just enjoying life, and that's the point. I busted my ass all these years, and now I get to do these little things and collect these little things that really bring me so much joy and happiness, and that's the point of it all, I feel like, at the end of the day, right? That's what we're all chasing after. And this dumb little bike right here, which was my dream bike. I got it for Christmas. It was the greatest gift ever. I got so much hate from all my friends at the time, the neighbors, everybody, because I just had this incredible bike that I loved so much. It was like my one big Christmas gift that year. I think it was like $300, and my parents splurged on it for me. God bless them. I was asking for this bike. We would go to the bike store all the time, and I was obsessed over it. And then when it got stolen, my heart was broken. I don't think my dad ever forgave me for that completely. So actually, I'm going to surprise him by showing him the bike. I think he's going to be just as excited, as dumb as it is. It's just something that brings me joy, and I'm super excited to be able to do these little things. That's the point, man. I kept my head down for so long, and now I get to just do a bunch of things that I truly enjoy, and I'm carving out my dream life right now, and I feel like that's what it's really all about, you know?
So I stay with a bird like a pirate. Rule number one, stay silent. Don't tell them shit when they question that violence. Wait, I got this shit on my own. From the muscle all the way to the bone. Wait, pull up, catch one of your dome. Big bad whoop bullets brought out of home. Who knows those trays? 3 bad bitches go fuck for the day. After I'm done, I don't need no mistake. Get Brody in turn, I'ma send them this way. Gang.
Where are you from? Staten Island. Okay, I'll be right back. Thanks.
Alright, but I can go off on a tangent. I'm going to sum this up. I want to put a bow on it. I want to make it neat so everybody understands what the hell the point of this entire vlog was. First and foremost, everybody says, oh, 1 year of hard work, your life can change, and it seems like such BS, but I promise y'all it's completely true. And a couple years, a few years, your entire life could be completely different. A few years ago, I was in my mom's basement, man, and my life is completely different now. I'm a property owner, I'm a landlord, I own an investment property, I own a building, guys. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It is never too late to get your stuff together, to chase after what you want to do. And part 2 to that, the caveat to that is, in order to do so, you got to put in the work. You got to get really clear on what you want out of this life. Remind yourself of what you're working towards. And anytime you're faced with something that might be a temptation or a distraction, ask yourself, does this thing, does this person, this idea, this action, does it align with the future version of myself? Does it align with the life that I want for myself in the future. And if it doesn't, walk away. That's how you have to start training your brain to think. And I promise you, if you do all that stuff and you stay a good person doing so, man, the world will open itself up for you in such a beautiful way. Listen to my story. Look at it as an example, because I promise y'all, man, I watch so many stupid inspirational videos, all the Gary Vee videos, all these different things that we've seen on self-help. And as corny and repetitive as they sound, I promise y'all, it's true. Get clear on exactly what you want. Put your head down, work for it, and it will show itself to you at some point, as long as you just keep staying clear, stay on the path, and don't allow yourself to be overcome by life's distractions. Simple, plain, and easy. Do it. And thank y'all so much for tuning into this one. I know I've been slacking on YouTube. I've gotten messages from people, comments, and this is my promise to you. I'll be posting a new vlog, a new video, some new content every single week on here. I'm trying to build up this platform. I'm trying to give some positive energy out there to the world and share my knowledge and my life with people. So I'd appreciate if y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps me just expand my platform and my reach, and gives me the ability to create more content each and every week, and gives me a reason to do so. So thank y'all so much for the love and support. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch you next week.